for midgets.
I guess.
Okay. So the boom out. This is your boom out, boom in switch. So you just press and hold it and hold down, and it will do everything for you. Hold it till it beeps. So it'll say complete.
That's slick.
So then you got your 1 and 2 buttons down below here. So oh, yeah. Transmission and field range. There we go. So it won't let you turn boom track on, I think, over 20. So probably set that, I don't know, 13. Maybe you want 10
Oh, sure, let's stay the same.
or 11. So now, here we go. Number 1 is boom track. Number 2 is auto track. So then you can go, you got sensitivities, and you got 2 different modes. So ground modes is what you're going to do when you first start out beginning of the season, and then probably your in crop as well. And then if you're doing any fungicides where the canopy's closed in, then you can switch to canopy.
And it just senses the ground or whatever.
It just senses it just makes it like less sensitive because it's grabbing signal from taller plants. And then you can set your height however high you want it. So there, when it's green, that means that it's activated. So you'll see if I move a boom, shut off, and then you gotta press 2 to turn it back, or sorry, 1, turn it back on again.
So there's 3 or 5 of those sensors.
There'll be 5, but it's only gonna show you 3 on the screen.
Great.
We go into sprayer under this auto. There you can see all 5 sensors. So it's just giving you just an average. Yep. Okay, so then you see it's in manual target pressure of 40 psi. That's the only time you're going to do that is when you're rinsing. So you can just have a constant pressure. So then you use this switch here to switch to what rate you want to use.
Is that an automatic target pressure? Or target gallons per acre?
That's gallons per acre. Yeah. And then if you wanted to change it, you just press on it, you can change to whatever rate you want. So then you got your boom on, or your pump on, solution pump. So now you'll start to see some pressure.
This is nozzle pressure?
That is nozzle pressure.
Yeah.
This is pump pressure. So it'll say low because it was trying to suck from the tank from being winterized. So now pump pressure's up. Slowly getting your boom pressure up. So in the settings here, you've got these differences. So that's that boom pressure relief. That'll stay on all the time. So that's that. With the solution pump off, you just press the spray switch on, and then opens the valve to the tank. So if you need to deal with any plumbing, it's not going to be pressured up.
Yeah.
Boom charge will always stay in auto. It's just like a calculation that the sprayer does in the background when it's shutting sections on and off, what it needs to do with the pump.
Okay.
And then this orifice valve mode, you need to switch this when you change the side valve. That valve on the side between 5 gallons and 10.
Okay.
So right now we're in closed. When it's down, it's closed. When it's open, it's open. Or when it's up, it's open. Sorry. This is like a sensitivity that'll always stay in 3. You should never play with that. Minimum spray pressure is at 16 psi, so that's the lowest pressure that it will spray. So if you slow down, and let's say you get it down to 16 psi, if you slow down some more, it'll basically it's going to stop at 16, and you'll be over applying.
Oh, I see. Why is there a minimum? What's the point?
The minimum is the minimum that the nozzle will make a spray pattern and not shut off the check valve.
So that's what it is, 16 for these nozzles?
Well, it's whatever check valves, so it must be for these, you must have it 16. Usually like 12 PSIs when it shuts off, 10 to 12.
So when you change the nozzles, that number will change, or that's just the
No, it'll
the
always
one
stay
valve?
there.
Okay.
Probably never change it. And then spray off pressure. What that means is when you're not spraying and you're just sitting with the pump running, it's going to keep your boom pressure at 50 psi.
So when you're filling, you want the pump off, obviously, unless you're using it to.
Yeah, you don't need the pump on until you're ready to agitate.
But it won't back pressure the pump at
No.
any time. Okay.
No, you can turn it on.
So
No,
you just-
it won't pump her out the side.
Good.
No.
Our old one, you had to make sure you had the pump off or on, but you had to leave the valve closed, or it would back pressure and throw your pump or blow your pump or whatever.
It was a
No.
piece of shit. It was.
No, you don't have to worry about that. Agitation on. So I'll show you a little icon up here. So pump's on, agitation's on. There's 3 different levels of agitation. So it's on medium, which probably majority of the time you're going to stay on medium. If you ever wanted to change it, it's right here. You can change it to 3 or low. So I guess if you're doing something that like Liberty, maybe the Liberty's usually pretty good at 2 if you use some defoamer stuff in it.
Yeah.
But if it's foaming up real bad on you, you can lower the
Higher would be for like a granular or something?
probably a granular, yeah. And then you got adductor levels. You can change how aggressive you want the adductor to run outside. Tank fill. So you probably want this at 1,000.
1000's a max?
That's your max tank.
So what are these? That's just your two different presets?
You can let's say you're gonna do a partial tank. You got a small field or something. You're only gonna fill it whatever. You take that in and hit that, and it'll raise your level to that amount.
Okay. And it'll give you like 50 acres remaining or something like that?
Yeah, it won't tell you acres remaining, but yeah, you have to calculate it out. Flow rate alarm, section off alarm. You can then put in a low tank alarm if you want to. He's got it shut off. So if you wanted it to alarm you when you got to 100 gallons. Good.
Yeah.
Belly's off now. This is like a nozzle calculator, so if you're unsure of what nozzle to use, you can type in all your information. So it's like, I want to do 5 gallons an acre right now, and my speed's going to be, let's say, as low as 8, and as high as 12, and my nozzle pressure I'm targeting for 40 psi. So the best nozzle to use is a number 2. So when you're at 8 miles an hour, it's going to be at 18 psi. When you're at 12, you'll be at 40. Boom setup.
So those two grain out, that's irrelevant to us?
Yeah, you don't have those. That's a foam marker. And this is a target fill feature, which the sprayer doesn't have.
Okay.
Here's all your service intervals, so you can reset all them. Okay. Rate control, always stay GPS speed. Calibrations. Shouldn't have to do anything in here unless you're having issues with something in the shops telling you to do calibrations. So there's boom calibrations in here, there's auto track calibrations here, there's hydro handle, speed sensors, tread adjust, stuff to do with your spray pump, all that stuff. Don't need to do it unless you're having an issue. The shop tells you to do it.
So the only calibration you'll do is a TCM? or-
TCM cal, yeah. Yeah, nuclear receiver.
And that's it?
Pretty much.
Okay.
This is an auto prime feature. Up to you guys if you want to use it or not. So when you fill the tank up with chemical, basically you go next and you type in a simulated speed and then tell it how much fluid you want to use, and then you hit enter and it'll start each boom and it'll pump a bunch of product out in each boom, a certain amount of product to prime the boom. Lots of guys will just, if you know you got clean water in the boom, back up to the ditch and spray in the ditch for a little while till you see white coming out of there, or kind of your foamy chemical. Go.
Auto prime turns them on, and then it
One
goes,
section at a time.
and it will purge it for you or whatever. Prime it.
Primes it for you.
That's easy.
Just- I think it dumps way more product out than what's necessary. Is the problem with it. Yeah. Like it'll be sitting there and it'll be foaming away and be like, yeah, it should move on to the next section. And it'll just be sitting there giving her and be like, this is unnecessary.
So just do it in the ditch.
Do it in the
Until it's
ditch.
all gold.
Switch to 40 psi. Prime your boom. It's only when you when you start up for the first time with a fresh boom, like every fill, you're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because it'll be full of
It's
chemical.
cool. Yeah.
So. This is your rinse system. So you have different options. You got boom only or solution system. So boom only would be, it would pull straight from the rinse tank. And you can spray clean water through your boom straight from the rinse tank if you wanted to. Yeah, you guys don't have exact apply, so I wouldn't say it's super necessary. But if you wanted to, you totally could do it. Solution system. So this is the main one. So when you guys want to do a rinse, you can pick between a single, a double, or a triple rinse. So you got volume settings, low, medium, or high. So how this will work is, if you're on low setting, you could actually do 3 rinses on low. or you could do 2 on medium, or 1 on high.
So you do them all on high then?
I would, while you guys are getting used to the sprayer. Once you guys kind of get to know your sprayer and what you need to rinse and make sure that you're comfortable rinsing it out, lots of guys do it on low. You could do 1 rinse tank with 3 low rinses. But when you first start out, you guys you want to make sure it's rinsed properly. Do high. So yeah, all you got to do is hit start rinse, and it will go through all these steps.
Oh, it rinses the adductor for you.
Now the only thing with the adductor though is you're gonna have to have somebody on the side open those, because it'll open the valve to the adductor, but you need to be on there and open the valves and get water flowing through there or whatever while it's doing that. So it's fairly quick on that, so you don't want to be slow. And then the rest of it does by itself. Rinses agitation, rinses bypass, rinses solution tank. And then once it gets to this boom rinse, it will idle down, and then it allows you to turn the pump on and then spray it out wherever you want. Whether you want to spray it out in the field or you're spraying it in a ditch or whatever you want to do.
So you do the first bit in the yard and then go out and let it go into it, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can either spray it out until the tank's empty, like all your rinse water out the nozzles, or you can spray out for a good 30, 40 seconds, and then you could go and dump it out the side, whatever you want. This one is a boom air purge. So what boom air purge is you could actually use this to help dilute between rinses. It will help you clean out, do a better clean.
Okay.
So when you do a rinse with clean water, actually before you do a rinse with clean water, you could do a boom air purge. It will take air from your air compressor and push all the chemical out of the boom so it's empty. So then when you do your rinse, it's diluting it with fresh water right away.
Oh.
And then once you've done your first rinse, do a boom air purge, cleans that out. You do your second rinse with your cleaning agent, then do a boom air purge again, and then you fill it full of clean water again, and like it should be so diluted that you'll never have an issue.
Is that what guys do, or do they?
I don't know what, like I tell them what to do, what they do, and
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a no-brainer.
I don't use, like, you guys are safe to use this feature. The guys with ExactApply, I don't use this as much because I've got more wear parts on those things and it tends to wreck them.
Yeah, I was wondering about
So with this system, you guys this works good.
that. So then the only point would be like a tank rinse.
Yeah. Okay. So these two are for your tread adjust. So here you got 120s all the way in. 160s all the way out, and all you got to do is, so if you're going to go to 160, you got to be above half a mile an hour, and then press and hold the button. There you go. So now you're all the way out. this is traction control. We're probably not going to need it for this year, but what it does, it looks like a diff lock button, but it's actually if one tire starts spinning, it will reduce oil flow to that tire and bring more oil flow to the other ones that are spinning. Yeah. So you can turn that on and off whenever you want. Doesn't affect steering, you could have it on all the time if you want, it doesn't matter.
So 1, 2, and 3, those are cameras?
Yeah, if you had cameras hooked up, is there cameras on here? Gotcha. There's there'll be connectors in the back of the cab. So if you wanted to put a camera on or whatever, you can connect them up.
Like a backup camera or what?
Yeah, backup camera. Yeah. This switch right here is your brakes. So never touch that while you're driving. That's like emergency brake. Like all of a sudden something jumps in front of you and you need to stop the brakes right away. It's like
It's pretty handy.
but it stops pretty aggressively with the hydro handle. So, but yeah, don't touch. That's what's on the spring.
Do you guys even use that?
I've never seen anyone use it.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
you think it'd be like a quick
Yeah.
or a button? I don't know.
No, you gotta purposely use it.
I guess yeah, you don't want to be doing that by accident. 18 mile an hour.
No. Road transport button, ladder up and down.
What's that road transport do? Just brings your wheels
locks
in?
out all your hydraulics and stuff. No, it just locks stuff out so you cannot boom out. And you might actually need this on to get 35 miles an hour. Yeah, then you gotta press and hold it to shut it off.
So section control is automatic,
Yeah.
and you can manually do it obviously on the arm.
Yeah, these are manual sections. You guys got any spots where you think you'll have to fold the boom in?
Yep.
So to do that, you got your spray switch down here. And then instead of doing the up and down on the main rack, just press your boom up and down. So your boom track should still work on the inside boom, but you notice it doesn't automatically shut the sections off,
Right.
so you will need to manually shut sections off when you're doing that.
How many sections on that? 3 there?
I think there's 2 at least. Okay. We'll try and spray. You won't use this.
What does that do?
It's a foam marker.
Oh yeah.
This is so you can manually shut sections off. And then this one turns them all back on. Okay. And that turned on in order for section control to work.
What's headland control?
You had boundaries. You wanted to spray the headland last, you could create a virtual headland and it would shut sections off the headland. Probably not doing that in the sprayer. I've got guys do it on drills.
Yeah, I don't know. No, you would.
These settings here, like these are mechanical delays for the section control. So it's like delay time. So when the spray turns on with the section, how long does it take for it to actually come out the tip? So they got it set to 1 second and they got the offset to 0.6. And then these overlap settings, so they've got exterior coverage and all that set to 103%. So that means that that section's going to overlap 3% before it shuts off.
That's pretty standard, 103.
Yep.
So why would you want a 1 second delay before it turns back on?
Because when you're going in and out, if you had it at 0, you might have a miss because it's only going to turn. Like the GPS knows where the boom is, it's only going to turn it on when the boom gets there. So what mechanical delay does, when you put 1 second on, it's still going to turn on when it thinks the boom is there, but it's physically going to turn it on 1 second before the boom actually gets there.
Yeah. And that's standard for this spray or whatever.
Really close, yeah.
Okay. Well, should I step out and let you guys go for